If I was making a video about Jadon Sancho a few years prior, I would probably be talking about how good he is and how he's one of the most talented and promising footballers in the world, and arguably the future of England. But fast forward to now, 2023, the tables have definitely turned, because nowadays Sancho barely plays for Man United and has ultimately been dropped from the starting 11 despite being an expensive signing. And unless you've been living under a rock, I'm sure you will know that just recently Sancho has put out a statement which is pretty much calling out his manager, after Ten Hag said in a press conference that Sancho is not up to the level needed to play for Man United. So how the hell did Sancho get here, and going from being England's next superstar and one of Dortmund's best players to a bench warmer at one of the world's biggest clubs? This is the rise and fall of Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho was born in the year 2000 and was raised in the London borough of Lambeth, more specifically Kennington, which is recognised as quite a dangerous area within South London due to gang violence. However, despite growing up in a tough area, Sancho still remained a humble and hard-working kid, with an obsession for the game of football, playing and watching the beautiful game whenever he could, even in school, with one of his early coaches, Louis Lancaster, recalling how Sancho used to watch videos of Ronaldinho all the time in school when the teacher wasn't looking, and would then go and practice his skills in the playground. And not only that, Sancho used to play against kids much older than him on his estate, and absolutely tear them apart with his pace but also skillful ability. So obviously Sancho's desire and hunger to make it in football was always there, and by the time Sancho was 7, he joined his first football academy at Watford, where he immediately showed his fellow coaches how talented he was. Sancho was able to burn defenders with ease, with his pace, but could also dribble well with the ball, with his close control and skills. And with Sancho conveying his ambition to play for some of England's biggest clubs, he eventually made a move to Manuel Pellegrini's Man City in 2015, when he was just 14 years old, joining a very talented group of players, with Man City having a reputation for being one of the best academy setups in England. But this talented pool of players wasn't a problem for young Sancho, as he continued to impress and improve on his traits that he developed at Watford. And Sancho's hard work and dedication meant that he was one of 3 players that were fast-tracked into the senior squad, along with Phil Foden and Brahim Diaz. So by the time it was 2017, Sancho was training with the first team, alongside some legendary players like Sergio Aguero, Vincent Kompany and David Silva, as well as being coached by one of the best managers in the world, Pep Guardiola. So obviously the road ahead looked great for Sancho, however his footballing journey took a bit of a detour along the way, and despite Sancho being offered a pro contract at sea, there was no guarantee that Sancho would get as much playing time as he desired. But like with most young talents, there was one club that came to the rescue, who would give Sancho the playing time he deserved, and that's none other than Borussia Dortmund, who ended up signing the 17-year-old for a fee of 8 million, and with Dortmund having a well-established youth system who are known to give lots of opportunities to promising youngsters, this was a perfect setting for the Englishman, and Sancho got what he desired: first team football, making his debut against Frankfurt in October and getting his first goal and 2 assists against Leverkusen in April. And in his first full season, Sancho did very well, getting 13 goals and 20 assists in 43 games, which are great stats for a young winger, and ended 2019 by getting a goal and assist in the 4-0 win against Bayern to win Dortmund the DFL Super Cup. And in his second season, Sancho did even better, getting 20 goals and 20 assists in 44 games, which even saw him go on a run of scoring in 7 consecutive games, which is absolutely insane for a young winger. So with Sancho making this much noise in Germany, it's no surprise that he was given an opportunity at international level as well, with Southgate calling him up to the 16-man squad for Euro 2020. But to be honest, Sancho was done dirty, playing just 1 full game despite his performances at club level. And to make matters worse, Sancho was called upon to take a penalty in the final against Italy, despite him having no warm-up and no preparation. And unsurprisingly, this put a lot of pressure on Sancho, and he unfortunately missed the pen, which saw Italy win the tournament. But this didn't stop Sancho, and he would bounce back from his low point, would have another great season at Dortmund, combining forces with the likes of Bellingham and Haaland, which saw him get 16 goals and 20 assists in 30 games. Another great season, as well as his second piece of silverware after beating RB Leipzig 4-1 in the final of the DFB Pokal. So with Sancho putting in all these performances, he was on the radar for many clubs, particularly Premier League clubs like Chelsea and Liverpool. But there was only really one standout club for Sancho, and after countless links and rumours, it looked like United was the only place that Sancho was really going to end up. And after what felt like forever, United finally got the deal done, paying a sum of 85 million in euros. And in July 2021, Sancho was unveiled as a Man United player. But as we all know, the signing didn't go as well as we expected for Sancho and Man United, and it looked like this period was to be the downfall of Sancho. But before we get into that, if you guys could do me a massive favour and hit the subscribe button if you're new around here. We're trying to grow the channel as much as we can, so any support is appreciated. Back to the video. So Sancho is back in his home country, playing for one of the biggest clubs in the Prem, and it's time for Sancho to take on his new challenge. But the Prem proved to be quite difficult for Sancho, not getting his first full start until November, and eventually got his first goal at the end of the month against Villarreal in the Champions League. But to say Sancho had a tough first season in England is an understatement, getting just 5 goals and 3 assists in 38 games, which is absolutely nothing compared to his Dortmund stats. And to be honest, it was difficult for Sancho to get in that squad, particularly with the likes of Rashford starting ahead of him, and with the whole Ronaldo situation,
appetitive fruit,
and and the hiring and firing of managers, Sancho just walked in on a complete mess. So it's not really a surprise that he couldn't get going. So many people, including me, gave him the benefit of the doubt, considering it was his first season in a new environment, new players, all that kind of stuff. So surely he'd do well in his second season, right? Well, no, as again, Sancho struggled to find a position that he could really blossom in and ended the 22-23 season with 7 goals and 3 assists in just 41 games. And after just making 3 appearances this season, Sancho has already put out a statement on Twitter saying, "Please don't believe everything you read. I will not allow people saying things that is completely untrue. I've conducted myself in training very well this week. I believe there are other reasons for this matter that I won't go into. I've been a scapegoat for far too long, which isn't fair. And all I want to do is play football with a smile on my face and contribute to my team. I respect all decisions that are being made by the coaching staff. I play with fantastic players and grateful to do so, which I know every week is a challenge. I will continue to fight for this badge no matter what." As after Sancho was left out of the United squad for the Arsenal game, Ten Hag was asked about Sancho, and Ten Hag pretty much said that Sancho was not up to standard to play for Man United, which just added even more chaos to the club. And just recently, at the time of recording, Sancho has pretty much been excluded from the first team and is on his own personal training program, whatever that means. And to be honest, it's a strange situation. I'm not even sure what to say. And to be honest, it's pretty sad to see a player go from being on top of the world to now being exiled from his own team. And it doesn't look like he's getting back into the team until Ten Hag gets his apology. And to be honest, from here, I just can't see Sancho turning things around. And you know, if I was him, I would just leave. Just get away from Manchester. And it's really hard to tell what actually went wrong though, because we all know he has talent. And I mean, maybe it's a discipline thing, with Sancho having a few issues in the past, like being late to training due to playing COD all night. I mean, I don't blame him. Prime Warzone was pretty good, to be fair. Or is it just a United thing? As for years now, Man United has been a mess. You can't deny that. Even Manchester United fans would agree with me.
You are nothing, you are a fool, and you are a waste of time. Good night.
With loads of issues ranging from the managers, the Glaziers, the whole Ronaldo thing.
Competitive fruit.
I could go on for ages. But yeah, what do you guys think? Is Sancho in the right in arguing, or is Ten Hag right? Let me know your thoughts. And to be honest, Sancho isn't the only case of struggling players, which is why you should check out this video here about Harry Maguire. And yeah, if you have enjoyed, make sure to hit the like and subscribe, and let me know what videos you guys want to see next. And thanks for watching. This has been Discussing Ball.